Call the meeting to order. Thank everybody for coming out. We gonna have the Pledge of Allegiance by Sergeant Curtis right here. No, we're gonna have the invocation first. Call the invocation by Reverend Hunter right here, and then we're gonna have the Pledge of Allegiance by Sergeant Curtis.
We ain't standing up but once, too.
Yes. Eternal God, our Father, we thank you now for this day and for your grace and mercy. And we've come now for a purpose of which you already know. And we're asking that you would grant us, if you will, access to your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, that everything that we do here today may be pleasing in thy sight. And we pray your blessings upon all those that work in this effort program and those that, oh God, that we serve. And we ask all of these blessings in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And we all say amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Have the roll call.
Roll call, true.
True.
Yeah.
There we go.
Chief Carl Don.
Here.
Sergeant Connie Kirsch.
Here.
Jacqueline Nance Branch, present. Ingrid Payne. Larry Selder. Mary Washington. Anthony Jones. Kathy Coleman. Carolyn Coleman. Dr. Mary Whitley Moss. Reverend Donald Hunter.
Present.
Sonia Boss. Geraldine Key. Jerry Booker.
Here.
Jennifer Moisen. We have a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
All right, we'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda. All right.
Second.
All in favor? Are there any nays? No. All right, agenda is adopted. Are there any public comments? Any public comments? It's open. All right, no public comments. We will go to action items. And under action items A, financial report, Mrs. Pratt.
There really isn't any action item under the financial report this time. There's going to need board action, but I wanted to give you an update.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, what I'm giving you first will be our balance sheet and our profit and loss statement for ending June 30th. And they are unaudited. Our auditor is scheduled to complete the audit by the end of December. And in January, he will make a report to the board. At the end of June, our balance sheet indicates that we have assets totaling $11,974,924. We also, at the end of the year, we only had outstanding bills of $197,000, and the bulk of that was for merchants, which is our food vendor. We also have a construction loan payable to Whitney, and that's $2.1 million that's due now. And of course, in January, we'll pay half of that off as well. And at the end of the fiscal year, so our assets equals our liabilities and our equity. And as I said, our liabilities total $11,974,924. That's how much we own. Also, on the profit and loss statement for the same period ending June 30, 24, we ended the year with a net profit at June 30th, $3.3 million. Now, you know, June 30th, we've gotten our millage money for the whole year now, so it looked like we got a lot of money, but that's just half of the year, okay? Still got to make it to the end. So anyway, that is what our end of the year profit said. Of those costs we incurred that year, we incurred expenditures of $13,224,000. Of that 13 million, 5.3 of it is salaries and fringe, and that equates to about 32% of our total revenue for the year. Our revenue for the year was, I think, 16 million and something for the whole year. So that's about 32% of our revenue was salaries and fringe. But in a service-oriented organization, that's really not high. A third is not high at all. So that's basically it. And I said the auditor will have the final report in January, auditor report that he will present to you guys for approval. In the packet, also on page 8. Well, it say, what will it say? It will say graphic summary revised? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna let Tasha, at this point, she'll do the spiel about the council meeting, and I'll give you some figures based on that particular meeting.
Okay, so on September 18th, the agency was asked to present at the Metro Council meeting as it relates to our ad valorem tax or our millage. As you know, this was a tax assessing year for all properties. Property values have gone up in their assessment, maybe about 15 to 20%. So everybody, all the agencies that have millages were due to have an increased amount. Ours was estimated to be about $756,000 in increase at the current millage rate. But what the Metro Council decided was that they didn't want anybody to receive the increased amount, and they wanted to keep it at the same millage. Wanted to keep us at the same money that we currently receive, which fluctuate between 10 and 11 million a year in the millage. What they did was they rolled back our millage rate. Initially, when we ran for the millage, the public approved 2.25 mills on properties valued over $75,000 after you take out your exemption. And so, and then from there, during COVID, they had all entities to take a mandatory rollback, and we went from 2.25 to 2.13. And so did the other 15 agencies that have to get their millage passed through the Metro Council. And so at this last meeting in September, they rolled us back from 2.13 to 2.0. And what that means is if taxes go down, your money goes down to that amount, to the millage rate. And so we went to kind of fight against that. It wasn't so much about getting the $756,000, even though, of course, we could use it, because like anybody else, we doing less. We're doing more with less, right? Just like anybody in their home, they face with inflation, so are we. Food is up, gas is up, taxes are up on things that we have to get. And so we really would have broken even with the $750,000. We weren't gonna get anything extra. But anyway, they voted no. They have until, and not just against us, so I'm clear, EBR police, the fire departments, the volunteer fire departments, the Allison Fire Department. It's about 15 entities, inclusive of us. They rolled all of us back, and they said no. So now they have until December 30th, according to the law. If they want to, they can bring it back up again. And so I guess they'll let us know. It's my understanding that some of the other agencies, the police, the fire, they are putting some serious pressure on them, because they said they would hate for them to have to call them if their house on fire, right? I heard them say that at the meeting, right? Right, and so we'll just see what happens. But in the interim, what that means is we have been operating off of the remaining funds of the American Recovery Act, and it ends in December. So the city parish gave us, because they had some extra funds some time ago, about $560,000 to sustain us where we are, so we wouldn't have to roll anybody off of services. And so Ms. Pratt will tell you we've come up with a plan, and you'll hear some of those things during this meeting, so that we can keep our head above water, but still continue to function, do the services and programs without the seniors feeling the lost revenue. Did I cover it?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Is it an all or none type deal? They can't.
Yep.
Y'all out of it?
They tried. So one of their first votes was really to give it to everybody but us, because they felt like, they felt like we in a different posture than them. Their emergency, their you know, the EMS and the police, and what we do is not as important to them, right? Which is, it's all critically important, because if we're not feeding them, then what you gonna do with the ones that's in the home suffering? And so the first vote was to remove us and say yes to everybody else and no to us, but it didn't pass, and so they just said no to everybody after that. They voted 2 or 3 times, but we needed one more vote, because when we went in, we only had 5, right? And then we swayed a couple of Republican counterparts, Rowdy, Goday, and Jen Rocker, but we needed one more. Yeah, the vote was down party lines toward the end.
Let me understand, if the public
Right.
voted 2.25, is it in the law that says the council can reduce the amount? That's, okay, y'all.
Because because we are not an independent taxing authority. There are only a few, BREC, CATS, right, and the city, but not us. Everybody else, the library, us, the police, everybody else has to go through the city and has to have approval from the Metro Council, not the administration, from the Metro Council itself. Yeah,
Okay.
so we're kind of, it's almost like a second layer of governance for us.
Okay. So the next question I have is, you say that you have to pay taxes, so you aren't tax exempt?
On a lot of items, but not everything, right, right. We, on state things, but sometimes not federal items, it just depends, right, on a lot of items, but not everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though we are a nonprofit organization, but we have
Our
a
problem
quasi
is-
governmental
yes.
standing, and that supersedes some
Right.
nonprofit things, so we have to pay sometimes.
For instance, a prime example, the IRS,
Yeah.
well, our Paychex does our payroll and our payroll taxes annually. And they saw where nonprofits were getting some portion back because of COVID. So they refunded us about $65,000. Well, the IRS sent us a letter and said, no, you have to give us that back because you quasi-governmental first. Then you're a nonprofit. And because you have government status and you're statutorily created from the state of Louisiana and the federal government, then you can't get that kind of tax break. So we had to turn around and get them $60,000 back that we already spent. But anyway.
How do you set it up like a break, where it's just a, under the state?
You gotta get approval from the Metro Council first and then the state, I believe.
Oh, they have to approve it to go to the state?
And they not. They not. They want to take breaks, actually, right? But they can't. So when the money came in overage, if you remember a week or two prior to this meeting, Cats had held their own meeting and said, yeah, we taking the overage. It was about 1.5 million for them. So, but they were upset about that too. So it's just, you know, we just decided we're gonna lose the battle and win the war because we got to get this thing renewed. And so we're gonna pick our fights and figure out how to fill this gap. Yeah. Because our millage is coming up for renewal. That's more important than the 750. That's the 100 million, right? All right.
And apparently there were some people on the council who did understand the significance of the cut because they send us, we do our budget for the city in June. Well, they send us an amendment where they had awarded us an increase, $374,000 of the 750. So they did give us something because our argument was to them was, okay, when we went for this millage, I said it was equivalent to like $10 million a year. But that same 10 million now is not equal to what 10 million was then. So that was our argument. So somebody heard it,
So
and
that
they
was-
gave us some of it.
That was the administration.
Yeah, the
The
administration did give us some of it, but not the whole amount. So
Yeah.
they did award us $374,000 more. They sent me a thing to do an amendment, and I did it on October 7th. In addition to that, y'all know we got some praying people at the Council on Aging. I'm telling you, God hears us. Because after we left there that night, we felt so dejected. We were just whipped. Okay?
Yeah.
But since then, we have gotten a $273,000 amendment from Title III money with the state. And we had already gotten an increase from them also in each one of our Title III grants.
Yes.
As of October 1st, because that's when the federal government goes into effect. So we're getting our money back gradually, even though we lost a lot of it because we lost the NSIP grant from last year.
And NSIP stands for,
Nutritional services, something.
that's it.
incentive program.
Nutritional Services Incentive Program.
We lost that grant, and last fiscal year, we got $534,000 from it. But the last year that we actually had a contract, it was only contracted for $400,000. So last year, actually, GOEA gave us more of it than we were supposed to get. But we didn't argue. We used it, we bought food with it. So anyway, but we won't get into that. They discontinued that in Louisiana. And they don't, they.
Our governor turned it,
He
is
turned
not
it down.
going to accept the
Right.
money.
He didn't accept the money.
Not just for us, for all councils.
Right.
And it's the program where we buy money straight from U.S. farmers or USDA products solely grown in the U.S. And so normally the state would get somewhere $3 to $5 million and divided between the 64 councils, and he turned it down this year.
Yeah.
Why, I don't know.
So the,
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Uh-huh.
and in addition to that, I mentioned this, Tasha probably talk more about it in her report. We received a grant for a few months until is it January 1 still?
Contract.
Contract.
December 31st.
December 31st. And that's for $294,000 to provide food for Head Start children, okay? And we already had JDC and LLI going, so we're finding different, and another thing, MIPA, that's Medicare Improvement for Patients and Providers Act. It helps to reduce your Medicare costs that clients have to pay for their insurance premiums through Medicare. Well, anyway, they increased that this year from, I think it was about 33,000 to 51. So we're getting little increases to fill in these gaps.
We hustling.
Huh?
We hustling.
We hustling, and it's coming through for us,
So do y'all still have the contract? Y'all make money off of the detention center?
Yes.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
still have that. We knew that's still ongoing.
We had that for 3
It was
years.
projected already in my budget. It was already there. So was the one with Leadership Institute. And those two were there, but we did not have Head Start at the time. Nothing signed. And until we get a contract, we don't count it.
Right.
And so anyway, that was included. So when I come back in April for my budget revision, that's when I'll get you guys to approve all of this that we're talking about today, okay? And next on page 10, is it?
9.
9. That was 9 I was just discussing.
Okay.
Bit about the changes.
Okay,
increases and stuff.
all right.
Yeah, that was 9 I was discussing.
Capital outlay.
What's the?
So our budget right now. it went-
Capital outlay.
Yeah, capital outlay is 10. And we only had 2 items on there, and I just want to say that we are working on Homewood, the pool renovations. It's in progress, and I think Dumas is coming up, Trudy, probably first of next year.
Yeah.
We'll go back and finish that, and we have to complete the fencing and the gate for Dumas, so they have, secure entrance and stuff like that. So that's still for this fiscal year. And that last page I threw in there, is nothing I never provide for you, but it's our units for the year, units of service. And this is where, we know how many meals we produce every year. And if you see the very top 2, which is congregate meals and home delivered meals, we produced this year 1,449,510 meals last fiscal year, okay? And that's just for information only. It's not really financial, but I like to let y'all know what to do. In case anybody says, how many meals they doing down there? Y'all know all
4
that.
million.
All right? And then, like I said, there's no action needed on this particular report, it's just for information.
All right, I entertain a motion to accept and approve the financial report as given by Mrs. Eva Pratt.
So moved.
All right, and second? All right. Everybody in favor? Are there any nays? No nays? All right. All right, so we are
I'll
on
do-
B, resolutions.
So this resolution is for, as you know, we have had a longstanding contract with the department, with DOTD. This is the last year of the 5-year contract. And this is for, this year, we are putting in a grant for 2 12-passenger buses, which are wheelchair accessible and handicap accessible, as well as this year, we're gonna try something different. We're gonna get 3 wheelchair accessible vans. And currently in our fleet, we have 13 buses that are wheelchair accessible, between 12 and 16 passengers. And so we'll bring our bus count from 13 to 15, and then we're gonna get some vans. And the reason we wanna do vans is we wanna be able to take more people to the doctor's office. It's difficult just to move a bus for 1 or 2 people, so it'll be better to have a van that we can move 3 or 4 to the same place. So if you go in the Baton Rouge Clinic, I don't want to send a 12 or 16 passenger bus to the clinic, and I need the bus at the senior center, so we want to get vans this year. And as you know, with this grant, I want to say they pay 75% and we pay 25%, right? We match it at 25%, right, Ms. Pratt?
I think so.
Yes, I think whatever the cost is, our matching amount will be 25%. And so this resolution reason, I'm not gonna read it all, it just, says it's a resolution, formula grants for the enhanced mobility of seniors and individuals with disabilities. And that is therefore be it resolved, the East Baton Rouge Council on Aging, the CEO is authorized to execute and file an application on behalf of the East Baton Rouge Council on Aging, Inc., with the Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development to aid in the financing and operating and/or capital assistance projects pursuant to the FTA Transit Program. And then we'll sign this on today if we can get the secretary to sign it. That's it, Chief. You want to make a,
All right.
yeah.
Make a motion for the authorization of this resolution for the purchase of the vans and the 12 passenger bus. All right, moved and second by Ms. Kathy Cope. Moved by Reverend Hunter. All in favor? Aye. All right, are there any nays? No nays? All right, resolution is approved.
The second thing that we need some approval for is we want to amend our policy in our senior center manual, in our senior center policies and procedure manual. One issue that we have been having at the congregate sites or the senior centers is since COVID, some of the seniors don't want to get back into the process or the program of coming in and participating in the activities. In order to be a certified senior center, you have to have seniors in that come in and participate a certain period of time in the activities, particularly those for wellness, education, and things that do mind cognitive stimulation. And we have gotten a swath of seniors that decided they still work, they want to run in and eat lunch and leave like it's Piccadilly, right? Or they want to dine and dash, or they want to come and get a plate to go. And we don't want them to do that at the senior centers because it disrupts the day. They don't reserve. So in order to come to the senior center and have a meal, you have to reserve it the day before. Or if Friday, if you're coming on Monday, you do your RSVP, or it's called a potential. Potentially, I may be here on Monday, so count me in the meal count. That's how we can figure out how many meals go to each senior center. But we have some seniors that decide they don't want to do that. And so in this policy, we're just reminding them, encouraging them that you have to participate in the activities. You just can't come and get a meal. Now, we do have sites set up for that, 4 sites within the city. If you want to just get a meal to go, you can go to one of those. It's boxed to go already, and you can take it. The senior centers, we don't even have to-go boxes. And so the seniors, they coming in with the Tupperware containers, and they fall down in the bags, and they rolling it up, and they leaving. And so what we're trying to do is remind them the purpose of the senior center. 1 is to congregate with your peers. So if you eating and leaving, you're not doing that. 2 is to break social isolation. You eating and leaving to go catch the stories, record them, right? And then the third thing is you're not participating in the activities. And I'm paying consultants and fitness instructors to come in and teach you these things and work with you all, and then you leaving. So when they turn in their invoice, I got 12 people, but the center got 60 that day. 60 meals going out the door. Mm-hmm. And so what we want to do, and they don't like it, I'm just telling you because they've been calling and telling on me, but that's okay, because this is the rules that we want to set as an agency. 1, it's going to help us with our costs as it relates to food costs, food waste, right? Or, you know, you're not reserving a meal, so we don't know how many to buy for, right? And we overcooking or undercooking. Then we get complaints. Well, we ran out of such and such, but you only had 30 people that reserved it, but you got 60 people that day. We having that to happen a lot. And that has to do, that's a good bad problem because we're growing. Every center is at capacity, particularly the Butler. We full, we to the hilt. And so we think that if we clarify this and remind the seniors that you can't bring your containers, that's another thing. You know, food we have been manipulating that food since 5 that morning. Taking it out, preparing it, cooking it, then we have to transport it. So food has a window for us of 4 hours. After the 4th hour, at the end of the 4th hour, the food is no good. Now, if you pack it and take it, you taking a risk on your own. We've had seniors to take the meal and forget it in the car, go to the doctor, stop at the drugstore. By the time they get home, then they calling us talking about, y'all food made me sick today. No, it's that ham you snuck out in your pocket in the coffee cup, right? That, yeah, they do. They put in the coffee cup. It's the food you snuck out that's making you sick, because you know it's got a window, you know, and it's got to be a certain temperature and all that stuff. So we just want to clarify this policy. So we want to make an amendment, and all it's going to say is, at all congregate meal sites, the senior shall participate in activities such as cognitive stimulating activities, wellness, and other activities that are offered at the site. We are encouraging the seniors to remain at the site for at least 3 hours. The agency is prohibiting seniors to eat a meal during mealtime and leave the site. There are some seniors that want their meal and leave the site. There are 4 feeding meal sites that they can go and grab and go to-go meals. And so we want approval to add that to the policy.
I see them every day.
Yes.
And I had a kind of the catch-22.
Mhm.
What happens when the seniors that live in the neighborhood, that's the only meal they have,
Right.
and they trying to take it home so they can eat it later?
So we make concessions for that. We know the seniors that live in the neighborhood. Like, you live back here, we know you live right next door. So you got 4 or 5 minutes and you're gonna bring it and put it in your refrigerator.
Right.
No, it's the seniors that I know that's riding the bus from Baker to here, to Lotus, that's packing up stuff, and by the time it gets home, it's compromised. And so we have to encourage them, you can't have that, because you know, any slight thing will make them ill. And so we don't want that liability or exposure. So it's a fine line, but in the centers, they know the people that don't have, that live in the neighborhood, that live next door to the center. And sometimes we give them the food to go. Like, if there's some food left, you could go and take it home. Please go straight home with it, right? We'll get you a ride straight home. Sometimes we do that, but those are folks are not the problem. It's the ones, they still on their job. Right, they have a job and they come in here to eat lunch for free. Yeah, and they gone in less than 30 minutes. I got to get back on the clock. This not what the program was designed for. Right.
Where are the 4 programs?
One is at one is at Charlotte Terrace. Charlotte is off of Burbank. One is at off of Brightside. My apologies. Bishop Ott is off of Lobdell. We got Turner Plaza off of North, and the Catholic Presbyterian is downtown.
Okay.
So we kind of got 4-way coverage, and you can get it to go, right? And they'll have it ready for you.
Most of theirs are to go. I know at Bishop Ott.
Yeah, they don't sit down and eat.
No.
They take it out
And
upstairs.
this information that you're sharing with us today, these seniors are aware of this.
Oh,
just
they've
not
been
getting
knowing the
some
rule.
choice.
And it's only like 3 or 4 of them. And so what they do to us is, when they don't get it their way, they have 2 or 3 threats. The first one is, we're going to call the governor's office, and they do. We're going to call the BRZ, well, go ahead. And then when you get back, you still can't take this food to go. And that's what they do.
And
But
I received a complaint from one of my citizens in Baker,
Yeah.
and Tasha hit it exactly on the head. She's still working, so she takes her lunch break and she wants to go to Baker Center and just pick up her food. And Ms. D say, no, we got to encourage participation. You can't just come here, grab a lunch, go back to work.
Right.
And that's exactly what Tasha said. Those are exact circumstances.
So,
And they know,
Yeah.
they know, and they do it on purpose. And one man would come, and he rode his bicycle, and he wanted his food, and he got mad because he couldn't take it, and he had to be a part of the center. He told me he didn't want to exercise, he said he didn't want to do that.
You won't
But
do that.
he
Yeah.
wanted a plate
Right.
to go, and he couldn't get a plate to go. Oh, he cussed and fussed and everything. He called his aunt everything.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
couldn't take no plate.
Yeah.
so my issue is, we always notice.
Yeah.
So make sure you communicate, that's what you're saying,
Right.
communicate the policy, have a little, yeah, and maybe if you have it written,
Exactly right.
so that when they do complain to the governor's office or WBRZ or
Yeah.
whoever they complain to, you could say, just like anything where you have to have notice. You go to the
Right.
doctor's
Yes.
office, they
Right.
give you the HIPAA problem.
Right.
You go wherever you have them sign notice,
Yeah.
like you do kids who
Mhm.
get a student handbook.
Sure.
Employees, so maybe you need to do that.
So what we're gonna do is normally what we do annually is we review the handbook and they re-acknowledge that they received it and know what's in it. And so once we make this amendment, we're gonna do an amended policy on a memo, and we're gonna give them 45 days to get it together, to get it sunk in, and then we'll start going with the process.
Can you put a sign up at each center that says no takeouts?
We can.
And I mean, if you put that sign up and say no takeouts, everybody will see it.
Well, see, I don't really want to put the sign because I do make some concessions
concession to
to the
allow
people that live
takeout.
around the corner and don't have and want the leftover meal, because I don't want to just throw it away. But what I'm more concerned with how far you going when you take it, number one, and then also you coming in on your lunch break, disrupting the lunch service. I'm not so worried about the folks close to. Because, for instance, right at Councilwoman Coleman, I got 11 people across the street from her that we feed every day. And I know they're taking it, right, because they're in the motel.
Give me your
He
number.
can have it.
So you lock me in.
Yeah, he hungry, he can have it. Yeah, he can.
I so moved.
He so moved. Yeah,
I second.
all right.
Already got you in there. Okay, yeah. Call it. Yes, sir, call it now.
They so moved in second.
All right, yeah.
She's.
Wait, we done moved on. And second.
Councilwoman Coleman moved.
All right,
Yeah.
all right, all in favor of adopting a just and need policy? All right, are there any nays? No nays? All right, motion passed. All right, 2024-2025 East Baton Rouge Council on Aging Board of Directors roster.
Has been approved by the Governor's Office of Elderly Affairs. That's all we need to know. We just needed an amendment,
Yes, ma'am.
minutes that
Okay.
it's been approved. All right, and I guess.
All right, here's the longest thing of the day, y'all, the
Yeah.
CEO report.
I ain't longer than Miss Pratt.
I wasn't long, you took part of my time.
She was trying to cut some of her CEO report time. That's what she was doing.
So the first thing I want to do is give you all an update on our nutritional service department. It has our meals product has taken off. Ms. Pratt kind of mentioned it early. We got a call from Head Start. They lost some employees and they needed some assistance with meals for 2 schools. We are currently serving 300 children and teachers at Progress 2 and New Horizon Head Start schools. And for the months of September through December 31st, we're gonna make about $294,000 from that emergency contract. We've already been spoken to about extending the contract as well as picking up the other 7 locations. So that'll be 9 locations in total. And this is be a great avenue for us to make, revenue outside of grants and state funds. And so we're really excited about that. We have divided our kitchen, so this kitchen now will solely do senior meals. The kitchen at Lotus Center that wasn't really being used, we just had an inspection of it. It passed its first phase of inspection. We're waiting on that. We've gotten the permit to be a manufacturer's kitchen over there. We're waiting on the FDA to come in and do its inspection in the next couple of months, but we've already gotten our permit, and so we got our own little business kitchen over there, and we rolling meals. Not only are we doing the Head Starts, we do Louisiana Leadership Monday, Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday. And you'll see we do about 50 meals for Monday for their kids, 50 on Tuesday, 70 on Saturdays, and then we feed their band on Sundays. And so that brings in another 20,000 a month or so. Not a month, how much?
It's roughly about 8,000 a month.
8,000 a
8 to
month.
10, depends on the number of kids.
Okay. And then we do in the Juvenile Detention Center, their meals 7 days a week, 35 to 55 meals. It varies depending on how many customers they have. We find that they go up on the weekends. The customer count goes up on the weekends.
I appreciate you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I call them customers. When you you know, we appreciate those customers. That brings in for the agency another, let me not say a number, about how much?
Okay, for a year, about
No.
480,000.
$480,000 a year for those customers. And then
And then you just make a pitch to.
Make a pitch.
Our dear council, or you see how the numbers, we need a new detention center. And to all of y'all.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that's your secret.
And parish prison, yeah.
Uh-huh. For sure.
And so then I want to give you all an update on Lotus Village at the Lakes. So Lotus Village at the Lakes is the property in Baker. The State Department of Facility and Planning, they called us. We filled out a potential $10 million grant application to help eradicate some costs on the project. We still have about $7,934 sitting over there in priority one. We're waiting our chance and our opportunity to get on bond commission so that we can start moving our money, but for some reason, it's been difficult to get on the bond commission's agenda. So we asked our state rep, and we've asked Senator Barrow and Fields as well to help us get on the agenda. You get on the agenda and you can start moving your money, right? But right now it's parked. We also have $1.75 million sitting in priority one for Lotus Village Phase 2, and so that's back here. And that money is to be used to finish and to build this parking lot across the street, to finish it out, to do it, actually put the concrete, the stripes and all that, and then that's about $750,000. And then we're gonna build a parking lot back here on our Square 15. We own a whole block back here across from the villages so that the seniors have room for the visitors to park and more parking spaces. This was, it wasn't built with enough parking, and so we know that we need some more parking and some green space. So together, those two projects will be about 1.75, which is the money that we have there. But if we can get on the bond commission agenda, we can start spending it. We got a plan, we have a design, we're just waiting for approval. And so we've submitted all our information to do that. Also, last month, after the council meeting, I got so many calls about the Metro Council took our money. I did a CEO roadshow. I went to every senior center in the parish and just kind of discussed, no, they didn't take our money, they just didn't give us any extra. We still have our money, you still can come to the senior center. Trudy has it up there about what we talked about. And then we fell into other issues, of course. One want a new bathroom. They don't want to go to the bathroom with the men. They go on the floor. They missing. Just, you know, those kind of great things that seniors. We need extra sewing machines at one center. Somebody hogging the machine. We want, you know, it was just an opportunity for them to tell me and to vent, tell me everything that they wanted.
That's right.
So I will not be taking another roadshow no time soon. But we had a great conversation with the seniors, and so I kind of tried to clear them up on the confusion as it relates to the millage. And then I want to share with you all, we started a marketing campaign some time ago. As you know, our millage renewal is quickly approaching for 2026. But what we wanted to do is kind of tell our own story. We don't get an opportunity to do that, and just kind of show folks what we do. And these are the commercials. We've been on, I don't know if you noticed them on certain channels, but we do have our own commercials. Go ahead, you wanna play it? This one is about the meals.
We provide frozen meals for the homebound seniors. They are prepared with love.
When I come and get their meals together, go and deliver, and when they meet me at the door, you know, to see the smiles that come on their face, that makes my day.
It's really helped me because I can't prepare the food and Sharon brings it to me and I just heat it up, and that's what's so good about it.
The jingle.
It's great to see this kind of housing for seniors. We have our own privacy. We have our own little.
That's
place
her
to
apartment.
come to and relax. Everything is great. All of that is provided by the East Baton Rouge Council on Aging. And I truly appreciate that.
Okay.
This is a great beginning for a new life for yourself.
It brings you almost back to your childhood, and you find out that, hey, I've gotten this age and I can still do this.
So when they come to our agency, they're going to get a hot meal, they're going to get great hospitality from us.
Council on Aging can help you.
It's a place to go, you're going to meet a lot of friends. You're getting out of the house, you're being able to socialize.
Give it a chance. Give yourself a chance.
It just gives me a new life.
You seen that one? Yeah. The other one,
We have our own privacy.
okay, that's good.
We
They
have our
running.
own
They're running.
Place to come to and relax.
I think the seniors are enjoying them. We've gotten some great feedback from other folks. It's an opportunity for folks to see where the taxpayer dollars have gone, seeing your taxpayer money at work. And so those will be running through the end of the year, right, Angel?
That's correct.
Right, okay. And we're on the radio too. Cumulus gave us some free radio spots from Skip Day that we never used. And so we're on the radio just telling them about the Council on Aging, sign up, join up, that kind of stuff. And then just lastly, just a few things. One thing that I failed to mention when I mentioned the 12-passenger buses and vans, the agency wants to get an SUV. Cause I don't know if y'all know, the last time I've been driving all over the parish in my car, and I don't get mileage, and I don't want all those miles. And then other folks, they need to be able to use something where we can go from one end of the parish without them putting a lot of wear and tear on their vehicles. So we want to get a SUV for the company. A lot of the councils, they have them already, but we kind of waited till we wanted to get through our buses first and get our transportation department started like that. But we need a vehicle that the team can use.
After the first of the year.
After the first of the year. After the first of the year. Huh?
Just one.
Well, you know my CFO? It been taking us 3 years to get one. Yeah.
We'll start with one.
See? And then lastly, just a few things about upcoming activities and events. We have Thanksgiving dinner and dance at every senior center. So we're encouraging you all to go to the center in your area, in your districts or closer to your home and participate, volunteer. We've gotten some funds, and we're gonna give away that week $25,000 worth of prizes throughout the senior centers. So you go out and give out the prizes, because we can't be at our locations, so we need you all to kind of help us go represent and call the numbers or do help serve, whatever you guys want to do. And then December 2nd through the 7th, it's our senior cruise. We let them talk us into taking them on a cruise. They paid some, we paid some, and so we are going from the 2nd to the 7th. We're porting out of Galveston. So we're gonna Cleo's buses is gonna take us, and I'm gonna be stuck on the ship with 200 seniors for 7 days. I'm gonna try to keep up with them and control them.
5 days.
For 5 days, I'm sorry, 5 days. Well, 1 day to go and then half a day back, but for 5 days. So some of us will be going. I know they already buying drink cards and all kind of stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute, y'all didn't have any money. The drink card cost $300. They got them already.
That's a lot of drinking.
That's a lot of drinking right there, Chief.
Oh.
Anyway, so I just wanted you all to know they ain't worried about the food when they buying a drink card. And then, so that's it for me. That's it for me.
All right. Any unfinished business? Any unfinished business? All right, new business. Any new business? All right. Well, we can entertain a motion to adjourn.
And look, the meeting went so quickly, I do have lunch or dinner for you all. You can take it with you. You can take it with you.
It's in the 4-hour minimum.
It's in the 4-hour window.
Yeah.
It's in the 4-hour window.
Meeting is adjourned, everybody. All right.
All right. Yeah, you can take it with you, or you can sit and eat, whatever you guys want to do.